Hi, I'm Kevin. Welcome to Wednesday's Words of Worship. You know, it can be very easy for us today to become somewhat discouraged with life and even our faith as we see senseless actions carried out by humans under the influence of evil, rebelliousness, or even those suffering from mental illness. Now, this evil is in part caused by, but not always directly perpetuated by Satan himself. See, humankind was gifted with free will, with which we can choose to do good or choose evil. We can obey God or disobey God. In a fallen and imperfect world, people who have a free will sometimes choose to commit acts of evil. And often, our tendency in trials is to get angry at God and demand an explanation. We forget that what God can do and does is to use evil, devastation, and tragedy to accomplish parts of his will or plan. Remember the story of Joseph? His brothers wanted to kill him, but instead they sold him as a slave. Joseph remained faithful to God through years of hard work, false accusations, betrayal of friends, and then one day God elevated him to a position to save the land from a severe famine. When he was finally reunited with his brothers, Joseph told him this, "But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people." Now, in that passage from Genesis 50:20, Joseph uses a verb that traces its meaning to the word weave. Like on a loom, how cloth or tapestry is intertwined or woven together, individual threads intertwined to make a whole. He was telling his brothers that you wove evil against me, but God rewove it together for good. Max Lucado says that God is like a master weaver. He stretches the yarn and intertwines the colors, the ragged twine with the velvet strings, the pains with the pleasure. Nothing escapes his reach. Every king, every dictator, every weather pattern, and every molecule is at his command. He passes the weaver's shuttle back and forth across the generations, and as he does, his design emerges. Satan tries to weave evil into our lives. God reweaves it with his plan in mind. You know, we won't always get a reason why something happens, and things don't always go the way we want them to. The point is that as Christians, people are watching for our response, and God is looking at our response, because our trials and our tragedies reveal what we're made of. It's been said that character is not made in trials, it is revealed. Now, by our standards, the evil that Joseph suffered wasn't good. He was made a slave, falsely accused, imprisoned. None of that seems good. But God wove all those circumstances together and used him to save the people, and that was incredibly good. Almost everyone has heard of Job. And Job lost all his children, lost all his wealth, all his possessions, and endured intense personal suffering. None of that was good. But for the past 4,000 years, his story and Joseph's story have been used as encouragement to persevere. The Israelites have used stories like these to persevere through captivity and slavery, through exile, through persecution. And today, we use these stories for encouragement and to persevere in our times of trouble. And that is very good. Remember, as part of your worship this week, that the God who caused or allowed your storm will also be your shelter within the storm. Hey, thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join me again next week.